your chair, put up a seat, yeah. Welcome to the Atheist Round Table. We just the dudes that you knew for poking holes in all these fables. Yeah. See, we just some atheists that got questions like, why does God kill babies with cancer? Hopefully, you can bring some answers. We'll sit back and take notes. Go ahead. Welcome to the Atheist Round Table. Welcome to the Atheist Round Table. Okay. Turn it up, turn it up.
Turn it up, turn it up. What's up, everybody? Welcome to TART Live Friday night call-in. Your boy Oz is here, and then I got Shane the Skeptic with me. What's up, homie?
What up, man? How's it doing?
You know, it's going. Every day's a holiday. Yeah, I mean,
every day's a holiday, so holidays are fucking useless. No, you know why there aren't any atheist holidays, right? Or I'm sorry, I should say, you know why there aren't any scientific holidays, right?
I feel like this goes several directions, so tell me.
Because science always works.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, I thought there was going to go a different direction, but science does always work. And then if we find better answers, guess what?
We adjust the view.
We adjust the view and keep it moving. We don't have to pivot. We just keep it moving.
Science adjusts its views based on what's observed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, thanks for joining me here tonight, Shane. We'll just go ahead and open up the phone lines, and then you and I have a special call we'll take care of here in a few. But 260-225-3868. Calling with anything tonight. No particular topic or anything. So if you have questions, theist, atheist, agnostic, whatever you have questions.
You want to talk about your favorite song? We can do that and give it a breakdown.
Yeah, tonight's Shark Night.
It's Shark Night. Actually, call in and talk about sharks. What's the scariest kind of shark there is? What's the last shark you'd want to be locked? If you had to be locked in a pool with a shark, what's the last shark you would want it to be? And what's the first shark you'd want it to be? That's a good question. Call in and tell us.
We can talk about some sharks. But real quick in the chat, let's see who's here. Shane, let's see who's here.
Quick roll call.
Who's with us? Mike Burgandy, what up? What up? Aunt Jur, Secular Rarity. I'm glad she's hanging out with us tonight. Exmo Mobius here. Thank you. The one and only Aunt Kathy. How are you this evening? Donna is here. Donna, always good to see you. Thanks for being here on the late night. See, we go later than Nate. I don't even know why he calls this shit up late. Shane the Skeptic is. Oh, yeah, I already knew you were here. I think that's it for now. Oh, Ian's here, and then just jumped in there. Sean Alexander, what's up, sir?
I would never want to be in a room with Shark Dawkins.
You've met your worst nightmare. Cool. No, but, we have a special call. We'll have here in just a short couple minutes.
I'm imagining a shark biting me and then going, "Why is pain bad according to your worldview?"
I don't know why Secular Rarity keeps flipping me off.
I don't know, but whatever the reason is, it's probably a pretty fucking good one. You know that? I'm with Secular Rarity on this.
All right. Assholes. I did want to say real quick, if anybody is going to be, or you're in the Midwest area, you're close to Fort Wayne, Indiana tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to have this little shindig, these little shenanigans with a bunch of God-hating, sin-loving.
Yeah, but the date on there is wrong, just so everybody knows.
Well, no, this one's
Or wait, that's the first one. My bad. I was getting that mixed up. Okay, my fault.
all good. All good. So
I forgot because it doesn't involve me, and therefore it doesn't matter.
Well, there you have it, folks.
Narcissist.
Yeah, actually, this flyer was made before we added you and Sunny to it. But yeah, 6 p.m. tomorrow, downtown Fort Wayne. And for those that show up, we're actually going to be right next door to the hotel and conference area that we're going to be having this guy on. Now I'm going to take that back down because those dates are have officially been changed, and I wanted to talk about that real quick. So we are in the final steps of having everything confirmed as far as the hotel, conference room space, rooms blocked off, all that fun stuff. So I'm hoping by Monday or Tuesday, we have a conference call with the entire team tomorrow at 7 or 8, I forget. But hopefully we have everything locked and loaded and ready to go. We'll start getting ticket prices out there, fundraising stuff out there, all the other details that everybody's been waiting for, and hope to have there's one last guest speaker that I'm waiting for confirmation on, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. But those dates are October 9th and 10th. So it's a Saturday and Sunday. If you don't have nothing going on, come join us. It's going to be a blast. The feedback we're getting so far has been amazing. But I will I'm waiting on, like I said, there's one more speaker. Once I have a 100% yes or no from that person, I will make the official announcement on the speakers, the lineup, what the weekend's going to look like, and then you'll have a little more insight. But we are working on the ability, because we've had a few people that don't live here in the States that are like, man, I wish I could be there, but that's kind of a long trip for a 2-day thing. So we are trying to we're setting up a Patreon, and through the Patreon you will be able to buy digital tickets to where you can watch live, and it'll be tiered just like the live event will be, and you can watch from anywheres that you want to watch from and get some of the same perks as well. And now I don't think you'll be able to like go to the after party with the speakers and the Tang crew or go to lunch or anything like that, but everything else you'll be able to partake in. But Shane, how are you feeling about that event? Shane's going to be speaking. He's actually going to be one of the kind of openers, talking about can we what is knowledge, and can we get knowledge or have knowledge?
Have it. Yeah. I'm super excited. It'll be the first time I've given like a talk with an audience. So that's exciting for me. But I'm also just like, as somebody who is passionate about critical thinking skills and epistemology, I'm just really excited to have an opportunity to give however many people are going to be there tools. Holy shit, where's my globe at? I don't know what I did with it. I was noticing, I'm like, something's empty. Where is my globe? It has a mind of its own. I don't know what I did with it. That is good pointing that out, Aunt Jer. Oh, it's right there. Okay. Well, I'll find an excuse to get it in a second.
Smoke another one, Smokey.
Right.
What's up, Amy? Glad you're here.
Hey, glad Amy's here. Hell yeah. Oh, the other day I went on Amy's show and I felt bad because so I was at work, but I worked by myself. So I was like, I can call in, rant for a minute. And I was just using my headphones because that's great. I was using my headphones, Beats headphones. The sound is usually not so bad from them anyway. So I'm like, I'll just call and do that. I had no idea how loud my work was. And when I was like pulling forward bags, because I work at a grocery store, it was so loud. And I'm always like, any side noise, any small noise in the background of a stream, I think it might be because I'm autistic. Like I pick up on it and it just fucks with me when I listen to it on any stream. So it just bothered me that I'm like, oh man, I was the person with the audio problem. God damn it. But it wasn't the whole time. And I guess I didn't ruin the stream at least. So apologies to you, Amy. And I'll make up for it with a shout out. If anyone here hasn't checked out Amy Newman's channel, go do that. Get some good skeptic rant, skeptic Bible study. Always good good panels, good discussions going on over there. So, hell yeah.
Over Amy's channel, they do midnight ranting. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Here we do midnight sharking. That's what we do.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get the Globe because secular rarity made a pretty reasonable observation, and I'm not gonna say what it was, but it was an accurate observation. So I'll be right back.
Okie dokie. Let's see. Let's scroll up here and see what she had to say.
All right. Leveled up. I have all of the necessary chakra for my jutsus. I'm a Naruto nerd now. I started watching Naruto like a month or so or 2 months ago, and now every like day or two I make a Naruto reference.
Wow. For all those in the chat, did you all just literally hear Shane get smarter?
That's how that worked.
As soon as that globe started spinning, the coffee started tipping.
Yep. All of a sudden, I'm like kind of smart,
God
or at
dang.
least I got into my role because I pretend to be smart as my thing, but I wasn't in character yet. Now I'm in character, so
I don't even know how to pretend. I just get on here and talk, and hopefully it makes sense.
you just run your mouth and hope it makes sense. Well, that's the first step. You got to start with that.
Yeah, I just say it, and then I just pay attention to the after show comments, and I find out real quick whether I was wrong or right.
Yeah, I've come to find that really what matters is that as long as you can just get this ability to articulate yourself, even if what you're trying to articulate is really fucking dumb, people are going to think that it's smart because being good at talking makes people think that you're smart even when you aren't. So sometimes I'm doing good at talking and people are like, that guy, he knows what he's talking about because he's using a lot of words. Some of them I haven't heard before. Some of them are multiple syllables. Like, this guy's got to be onto something. The only thing that would help is if I had a British accent. Then you get another like 10 IQ points in the mind of any average viewer. I'm half kidding about that last part, but
All right, guys. Well, the phone lines are open 260-225-3868. And like I said, tonight's open. We can talk about sharks. We can talk about midnight ranting. We can talk about Shane's Globe. We can talk about
always up for Globe.
whatever. If you have questions, like maybe you're new to skepticism, new to atheism. Let's talk about it.
Man, the live chat's actually pretty funny right now. I'm like in the live chat. It's its own little comedy show. Somebody said that Globe keeps getting bigger, and then somebody said Shane touching that Globe the way he does definitely makes it bigger. Man, I'm never gonna be too mature to laugh at innuendos like that.
Yeah, I always like it when the chat's popping off.
Yeah.
Popping off.
It's like, damn, you guys are having better conversations than we are. Call in.
Yeah, we're waiting for a phone call, or we'll make our phone call here in a minute. But
Right.
But we do have two other shows coming up that I wanted to endorse, and I'll have the streams, everything created hopefully tonight. But Shane, there's a guy that did a thing. He wrote a book. It's called The Atheist Handbook to the Old Testament. It's by Dr. Joshua Bowen, and it's volume 1. Do you know what that usually means?
That there is an intention for there to be a volume 2.
Correct. Well, Dr. Josh is going to be on with me tomorrow night.
Cool.
And we're going to be talking about this thing right here. This thing. So this mysterious guy that we've been talking about that writes a book that we seem to be obsessed with the books. He'll be on. Don't miss that. And then on July 18th, Biddy Buddha and I, we're going to be discussing the Satanic Panic. And we have And it's funny because both of us kind of credit this individual for being kind of the what's the word I want? Kind of the catapult, or I'm losing the word that I wanted to use now, but kind of the beginning of the wall breaking down, the wall of faith or religion. None other than Seth Anders will be with us on the 18th, and that's probably that. And religion makes me
made me talk like an idiot.
Yeah, whatever it is. Those are probably my two favorite talks of his. So.
Yeah, I remember when I was first starting to get into like atheist podcasts and stuff like that. Seth Andrews is one of the first that I came up with, because I remember when I started getting passionate about like activism shortly before getting involved with the ACA and all that. I remember I had a coworker who would like try to evangelize and preach every single day, and I worked with this guy all night, and I would just argue with him, and I don't think most debates don't have a winner. These ones did, and it wasn't him. And he would just every night argue all night with me, and I would tell him so many things like, okay, I'm trying to imagine that there's a God that wants me to believe he exists, and he sent you to tell me. Like, surely he would have sent somebody a little bit smarter than you, because he was actually really fucking stupid. And I'm okay with calling somebody stupid if they're an asshole. If you're stupid and you're not an asshole, I'm not going to use the word stupid because it's mean. But if you're an asshole and stupid, I will call you stupid. Like, but anyway, I was like, I wanted to start listening to some atheist content. I didn't have any atheist friends. Like, I didn't have like community of like-minded people like myself. And I was like kind of going fucking crazy living in Texas and only talking to religious people all the time. And it was just super frustrating. And I remember listening to a bunch of atheist content and being like, yes, this. I started watching Hitchens, and I'm like, I want to do that. Whatever it is this guy's doing, that's what I want to do. And then, sometime after that, came across Anthony Magnabosco, and I was like, okay, but I want to do this too. And then I realized I like debating, but I like conversations that aren't debates as well. And I get to do both of those things. I don't have to pick one. I don't have to pick between SE and debates. I could do both of those. So.
Yeah, bro, that's ain't like Christianity where you got to be a Baptist or a Catholic, or like do what the fuck you want, bro. Fuck you want. Real quick, I did have a point when you said that another date that I forgot about too. You said that, which I think everybody get a kick out of actually. But real quick, the skeptic. Some of my subscribers, and I'm very new to this part of YouTube, have told me to get more involved with the Atheist Roundtable. I love the work y'all do. First of all, thank you very, very much. Anytime we hear that, that you're enjoying it and you're loving it, that's awesome. And we work hard. We do the best we can do to put out good content. And some of it's educational, and I'll be completely honest. Others, it's just dumb as hell. It just we put out some really good shit, and we put out some really stupid shit.
We need a break from being serious all the time.
and mainly the stupid shit comes from me, so that's not geared to anybody else. And then the fact that other folks in the community are steering people, this direction, that means the world to myself and the entire team. So that's
awesome. Thank you. Really glad to hear that. That's dope.
Yep. Thank you for sharing that. And then again, I'll have the feed and everything created. Let me pull up my calendar so I don't give the wrong date, because this will be a high, and I say this tongue in cheek, a highly anticipated event. Let's see where to go. On the 10th of July. Oh, that's not what I want. I, Oz, will be in my first public debate. I will be debating Isaiah Diesel. And the topic is, does religion poison everything? So when you brought up Hitchens and he was like, I'll debate you on that, I was like, roll up, homie. I don't even debate, but that one's easy. That one's easy.
I don't know about how easy that's going to be. It depends on how pedantic you are about like everything. So if you want to say like, religion's not doing anything to apple trees, it's not poisoning apple trees. So there's one example of something religion doesn't poison, and then fuck you, you lose.
Well, no, we're going to clear all that up before we even debate.
Yeah.
We're not getting here and talk about,
Apple trees.
religion did not poison my animal crackers. We're not doing that shit.
Okay, because it always depends on, sometimes you want to get in touch with the person, make sure you're defining terms the same way, make sure you agree on a few certain things before you have the debate, because like if I'm going to debate a Christian about anything, if it's not about morality, but it's a debate pertaining to like reality epistemology, I'm going to want to know if they believe that in transubstantiation, the molecules of wine literally turn into molecules of blood, or if it's symbolic. Like I need to know in advance, So a lot of these are necessary things to work out before a debate. Because sometimes you think like you assume somebody will be willing to agree with you on that one thing, like, and then you walk into the debate and you're like, oh shit, we didn't even agree on that. That complicates things.
Yeah, it's and he and I will shore up the details, so it's not, because, and I already told him that I'm not going to waste 2 hours just getting into definitions and all that. When we say everything, we're going to stick to social social issues, constructs. He even he brought up art, and I was like, oh, art's an easy one. Like if that's where we're going, yes, this is a slam dunk. But there's a few people in here that just jumped in. Bible Burner, what's up? Kendra, what's up? Good to see you. Steven Sorensen, sorry. And A Pup K, formerly AK, now A Pup K. What up? What up? Brother John's in the house. Best in Show, Pavel D. I think I got, and the one and only Richard Madsen, everyone. Yeah, but Aunt Kathy's been she's been binge watching Mr. Magnabosco.
That's good. I remember when I first discovered him, I would binge, not watch, but listen, because I have since I worked night shift, I could listen to whatever on my headphones while I work. And I would just listen to interview after interview after interview that he did. And I was like, these are good questions. This is a good line of questioning. These are the right, processes of thinking and questioning. I like this. I like this activity of, hey, I'm going to try an approach where I don't tell somebody that they're wrong. I just ask them questions that help point that out. And I got super into that really quickly. And I met the guy like a month and a half or 2 months after I discovered him on YouTube. I met him in person. And now he's actually a pretty good friend of mine. But no, I thought it was crazy.
Real quick. Where'd it go? Pavel D, yes, you can call in. I have my phone right here. I didn't get like the notifications, but it shows that I missed two calls. So I will hold the phone in my hand to make sure I don't miss it. And then Dante's First Ring, ridiculous topic. Only a Hitchens could convince someone of that, and only with rhetoric. Oh, okay, then just tune in and watch. Like I don't go into it to try to win it. Based on the conversation, and we're gonna, like I said, define the terms based on our conversation that night. Yeah, hold on, we got a call. 1 second. All right, straight for pay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, how are you?
I'm doing well. Am I on the air?
You are
live.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. I since Shane is a philosophy expert, a philosopher, I was going to ask his opinion about. Want to ask your opinion about William Lane Craig and what you think about him, because I personally think he is just a character because of the way he dresses and the way he acts. He sounds like an intellectual person.
He certainly
And all
is.
these apologists.
Yeah, he certainly is a character. I would have to begin by making a slight correction about professional philosopher. I'm a self-taught person. I haven't like even taken a single class in college. Although I don't know that I'd use the word amateur because I do tend to know more about philosophy than any given interlocutor. I would say with respect to William Lane Craig, um, intelligence and wisdom are two different things, and if you really learn how to make that distinction, you might be willing to acknowledge that William Lane Craig is a very wise man and a very talented debater. Would I call him intelligent? I'm very reluctant to. I'm very reluctant to say that that man is smart. I see a lot of cognitive bias and intellectual dishonesty in him when he talks. And it seems to be one of those things where it's like, yeah, this guy's dedicated his life to preaching. Hello?
Yeah. I mean, I guess like for me, it was like, I think that he, like all of these apologists kind of like rally around him. And I think the only reason why they do that is because of the way he dresses and the way he sounds. And so that they can all say, oh yeah, no, I think the Kalam is a great argument. Like these dummies like Cameron, whatever is from Capturing Christianity, has like a shirt that says Kalam on it. And I just think that that is just like so ridiculous that they have to make t-shirts for that. Cause it's like, it's not a good argument, but I'm curious if like Shane, do you think it's a good argument or what?
I don't think that the Kalam cosmological argument is a good argument, and I specifically think that the way that William Lane Craig makes it is really bad. And one of the reasons I have a difficulty being reluctant to call him, unwise, is because he knows an awful lot about cosmology, and I wouldn't be so quick to dismiss what it is he has to say about cosmology. But then to go from there's a cause and not even actually really prove that, I would recommend watching his debate with Sean Carroll, where Sean Carroll presents multiple models for an uncaused universe and shows how it could be the case. William Lane Craig simply goes, and we call that cause God. It's just, that is something that's really bizarre to me because that's a really stupid move. So I'm listening to this man talk. I'm hearing straight wisdom. I'm hearing like really, really good formulation and articulation of his points. And then just this blatantly fucking stupid move where he goes, and it's God. It's like, whoa, man, you almost seemed like you were going somewhere. And then you just kind of skipped all your work. It's almost like it reminds me of being a kid in school and doing a math problem and not showing your work. And your teacher's like, no, you have to show your work. You have to show how you got that answer. That's how I feel when I watch William Lane Craig. It's like, okay, maybe you're getting the right answer, but you're not showing your work if you are. So you need to show me what are some missing premises, in the Kalam that could bring us to a God. So I do think it's a horribly flawed argument. I think it's been refuted adequately multiple times. But yeah, as far as you were saying about like the way he dresses and the way he carries himself and all that, a pretty big part of debate is like performance. You are going to have your philosophically inclined listeners who are really judging everybody's performance based on the ideas put forward, what refutations they gave, how many points they were able to refute, what arguments they made that were, deductive, or how they caught on to fallacies. But at the end of the day, most people who don't know all of that stuff, they're just going to be seeing who's talking more confidently, who has more to say, who seems to be acquainted with more information on any given topic, and they're just going to work from there. So I think that is really what happens with people thinking that William Lane Craig is this insanely intelligent guy. And like I said, I would call him wise, but I'm very, very reluctant to call him intelligent, and I'm more reluctant to call him intellectually honest.
Yeah, I would definitely say he's not. And I've seen a YouTube video where with his ministry, like he essentially, like I don't think a lot of people realize that he does this, but like in his ministry, he's essentially like guilting atheists. He's like, you think you're so happy. Well, you really shouldn't be this happy. And like trying
Yeah.
to guilt people into like, because, you know, blah, blah. And it's like, geez, like that's just really like awful that he's doing that.
It is awful. And that's actually something I've ended a few friendships with Christians who not because of their belief, but if they take the approach of telling people that they're not good people, and then so they can follow it up and go, only God's good. Okay, well, if only God's good, then it doesn't fucking matter if somebody else isn't good. Like, clearly, I'm better than a child molesting terrorist. There is some concept of goodness that you have that I have more of than that person, right? And it is, in fact, emotional manipulation. I wanted to point out, Amy said that in the chat. I think it's really disturbing to see people do it. And it's more immoral than I could really describe to try to manipulate somebody into taking your view. But I think that at some point, religion, especially Christianity, because religion is here for keeps, I think. But the particular ones we have, like Christianity, you know, if an animal is getting attacked and it's in its final few moments of dying, it's going to really lash out and claw, you know, every last grasp of life that it can get before it dies. It's clinging to its life. In those last few moments of it fighting, it's going to fight like hell. And I think that's what Christianity's doing right now, because it's dying out. But at the same time, it's in that stage of, okay, but now we're lashing out. And now we're attacking even harder and really sinking our claws in. And we're seeing a lot of this kind of toxicity, manipulating people. And William Lane Craig, for that reason, I would like to debate him on a stage, but like, that's not a Christian that I would be friends with because of that kind of manipulation. Like, that is immoral to the point where I would not want someone like that in my life.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. And I think a lot of atheists don't know about that kind of stuff that he does for his ministry. So I just want to put that. But I thank you guys. I'm enjoying the show, and I hope you guys have a good night.
Thanks for calling in. You too.
No, we hope you have a great night.
All of us here hope you have a great night.
Right.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, man.
One more thing I'll add about William Lane Craig is one of the most intellectually dishonest things I see is his unwillingness to accept what atheism is. That's a pretty big part of his approach. Is he is like passionately against accepting that atheism is the absence of a belief. And there are times where it's like, you know, he's like, here's an argument atheists are making that's flawed. And I'm like, well, I'm a philosopher. I want to listen to the criticism of an argument. And he starts talking about the definitions, what atheists are saying atheism is. And I'm like, okay, cool. You're getting somewhere. And then he goes, but this is just a misunderstanding of atheism. I'm like, fuck you. You know, it's just frustrating because if you have a group of people going by any given label, if they're telling you the label that we are applying to ourselves means this, that's what the fuck you should go with, right? So if I read a few textbooks that tell me Buddhism is A, but every Buddhist that I talk to, and I go to multiple countries, I talk to all these different people, and they're describing it to mean B, then it would be more rational for me as an intellectual to talk about Buddhism with the understanding of B rather than A.
Yeah, from the first time I started watching debates as I was going through deconstruction and through deconversion, he's the one that I could listen to Turk for hours before I listen to William Lane Craig. William Lane Craig makes
fucking insufferable.
See, that's how I am with WLC. Like there's not very many people, like when I hear their voice, it makes me feel this way. But when I hear him start talking and the way he, is just such a prick.
He is such a prick, but
it makes me want to, like, I want to choke him. Like, I just want to choke him so he doesn't talk.
Yeah, he's one of those pricks though that like you need the right person to go up and battle against. Because I feel like a lot of atheists probably think that they could step on a stage with him and they just kick his ass in a debate. And I think that it's probably the case that most atheists who think that are very wrong. A lot of them would probably get up on that stage, not understand a lot of what he was talking about, not know how to identify and counter a lot of the manipulation going on in the conversation. And, he would just walk out looking like the winner. But it's also like and I'm not saying this about him, but like domestic abusers are very good at coming off as charming people. That's like one of the biggest traits about them is they're really good at coming off as charming. So it's kind of like, yeah, somebody like that can be really good at coming off as being right, but that's just them knowing how to manipulate the situation and how they're coming off to people.
Right. Just in Discord, I think it was last night or the night before, I was talking about nothing to do with religion, just a lot of leadership courses that I took. Complexity, as far as how you build your framework for your argument or casting a vision or whatever it is, complexity does not equal accuracy. Just because something sounds complex does not mean that it's correct.
I mean, look at string theory. You know, it's way more complex than I could ever even explain to you, but it's not an accurate scientific theory.
Tobin.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press.
Who's in the house? Who's in the house?
It's Tobin.
Tobin.
That's right.
Tobin.
Hey, what's up, Tobin?
Tobin, you be live with Shane and Oz.
Awesome.
But real quick before you go, buddy, I do have a super chat before I forget here. From Donna, thank you for $4.99. Repeat the date of your debate. It was, what did I say it was? I want to say the 10th. Let me pull it up just to make sure.
Yeah, pull that up.
Because my memory sucks. Yes, Saturday, July 10th at 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's going down. And then we had one more person asking me a question here. Let me pull it up. All right, well, I don't see it, but I'll just tell you what it was. AK said, Oz, can you take a second and disprove the necessary being argument? And this is how quick we do this right here. And shout out Tom Rabbit.
If God exists, then I know that God exists. I don't know that God exists. Conclusion, God does not exist.
Boom, roasted. Boom, roasted. All right, Tobin, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to make this claim that knowledge is information and experience.
Okay.
And you don't have to believe in anything.
Okay.
You don't have to think something is true.
You don't have to believe the information.
To know of it.
Okay, so you can know of information without. Okay, here's the problem with that: is you're given information.
Do you know of the Bible? Do you believe in the Bible?
No, because that's not a true. You're giving an example of a story that I can know to be false because it isn't consistent with reality.
Information.
Because there are other beliefs that I have about the world.
You know of.
No, you can have information and not believe in that information. You can know about claims that the claims are false, but it is true that the claim was made. So there's a difference between knowledge of and propositional knowledge. You have know-how. There are different categories of knowledge, but you're saying like information and experience, like you have to believe the information you're being acquainted with to know it.
It's that simple.
Okay. Do you have any, can you make any references to any lectures or any academic papers or any textbooks that I could look at where any understanding of knowledge is consistent with yours? Because if you're saying that you don't have to believe something to know it, then your understanding of knowledge is so far removed from mine that I have almost no idea what you're talking about.
But yet you have a lot to say about it.
No, Toby, I love you, bro. But you have, I know Shane's lost. I'm lost. So maybe can you rephrase or reformat what
No.
you're saying. Help us understand.
It's very simple. My philosophy is very simple.
Okay.
In order to have knowledge of things, all you need is information and to have experiences with things.
Okay, but what is
You
your
think
relation
it's
to
true.
the information?
Hang on, Shane, let me finish. What I'm saying is, I don't have to believe it. I don't have to think it is true. I can just know of it. And there's no reason to believe anything. I cannot find a reason to believe in anything.
Do you think that what you're saying is true?
It's right now it's the most probable. It's most likely.
So you do believe what you're
my
saying
head
is true?
No, I don't know it to be true.
Okay, I didn't ask you if you know it to be true. I asked you if you believed it. Okay, so
It's possible. It's likely.
Well, that's where we're.
But I don't know it
okay,
to be true.
but to believe something means to be convinced that it's true. That's what belief means. I don't know what do you think believing is?
No, I'm going by the definition that you gave me, which is that believing is thinking something is true.
Yes. Being convinced that it's true. That's believing something.
That is your definition. Yes. And to me, that is, I don't see how it's useful. Why believe in anything?
Because you have to have beliefs in order to operate at all.
But dude, I seriously have lived like this for an extreme amount of time. Like I've had this idea put into my head whenever I was younger, and it has always stuck with me. And
but the ironic thing is you had it put in your head and you believed it. And like you're telling me a belief that you have, and that belief that you have is that you don't have any beliefs.
Right now, all you're doing is telling me what I think. And the thing is it's not that I believe it, it's just something that is said internally. It's just something I think.
Okay.
Belief is a necessary condition for knowledge.
Between thinking and believing.
Hold on. Let me
is there a difference between thinking and believing?
All right. Hold on. Let me jump in here. So you're saying all we need is information and experience to have knowledge and bypass belief. Is that what you're saying?
That is what I'm saying.
Okay. So how do you know what information do you have that we could source, and what experience that do you have that we can share to understand true things and knowledge the way you do without belief being a part of the equation?
If you're looking for a school of thought on what I'm thinking, I'm not sure it's there. I see. The thing is whenever Biddy said this the other day, I hadn't had that thought in my head for a long time because of Anthony Magnabosco. Whenever Anthony Magnabosco came out, he kind of redirected how I was interacting.
Okay,
and asking questions. And see, I haven't thought about it for so long, and when you said that, it re-clicked it, and now I'm just talking about it because I keep on thinking about it.
All right, hold on, Shane. So let me ask a follow-up question to that then. Tobin, if you're claiming that you only have knowledge, that we don't need belief, that you just base knowledge on experience and information, is there anything that that you believe, or that you say you have knowledge of, or you say you have truth of, that you don't also believe in?
No, and see, since this conversation got started, I have been thinking about it like almost nonstop. I think about what I'm working on, but once I've like gotten to work, I start thinking about this thought all over again. It's like,
but you're going to work, so you when you go to work, you believe that you have a job to go to, right?
Well, and real quick, the what I wanted to say.
no,
Hold
no,
on.
it's just.
Hold on, real quick, Tobin, because you had brought up Anthony. Anthony even would assert. Actually, somebody just put it in the chat. Anthony would even assert that belief is a subset of.
No, I that's what I wanted to say. Is like Anthony heard our last conversation, Tobin, and the least that I'll say about it is I assure you, Anthony agrees with me on what I'm saying, and he was thinking like he was rather surprised to hear people say that they didn't have any beliefs. Like that was really confusing to him. I assure you,
it's not something that I run across very often at all. To anybody who thinks like I do, and I'm not really looking for scholarly, for people to agree with me.
Okay, so
I'm just saying what I think.
Okay, but do you want to?
And I'm also trying to like.
Tobin, do you want to? At the end of the day, do you want to know that you do you believe or know things for good reason, that you know more true things than not? Or are you comfortable with the position of I'm just comfortable with how I see it or how I believe it, and that's all that matters to me. Like does truth?
Well, see, that's the thing.
Hold on, I wasn't done. Does truth matter or does opinion matter?
Okay, I'm glad you got to this point. Truth is very important to me. And anything that I come across, I need to verify it. Whenever I am building and constructing, I don't rely on just my senses. I use other things to measure, and I can verify it.
So have you ever been wrong about something before?
Is right. Absolutely.
Okay. What did being wrong feel like before you found out you were wrong? Like in the moment of believing the thing you were wrong about, what did it feel like?
Shane, that doesn't help me. That really doesn't help me. Because
I don't know what will help you, Tobin. I mean this with all due respect.
I can be wrong about it. I can be wrong.
If you could be wrong about it, then you don't know it.
Take a measurement and be wrong.
Any proposition that you could be wrong about, you don't know.
You don't know that if I look at a measuring tape and I see 5 1/4, and then I go and I cut something and I was wrong, I just looked at it wrong. I didn't see the numbers correctly.
Okay,
Maybe
but because of the fact that you didn't see them correctly, you believed that they were something that they weren't.
Hold on. Shane, let him go. Let him go.
Just because I think something is it, just because I've looked at something and thought something to be like the most likely correct thing, doesn't mean that I'm like, whenever I get back to my tool bench, that I'm like, I'm absolutely correct and I believe this. This is truth. Like I have it in the back of the mind that I can be wrong.
Okay, yes, you know,
I say and do.
Right. You know that you could be wrong, and therefore you don't know that you're correct. When you make the cut after taking your measurement, you make that cut with the belief that it is at the accurate measurement. If you didn't believe that it was at, let's say, 5 1/2 inches, then you wouldn't make that cut because you wouldn't have any reason to. If you know that you need to make a 5 1/2 inch cut and you go and you take your measurement, when you make the cut, you're making the cut with operating with the belief that you have the accurate measurement. Since you could be wrong, you don't know that you have the accurate measurement, but you have a belief that you do.
See, that's the thing, though. I don't accept it as truth. That's why.
Then you wouldn't make the cut.
Believe is because I don't accept things. That's not true.
Okay, your actions are kind of like demonstrating the falsehood of what you're saying. If you make the cut because of the fact that the best information that you have leads you to think that it is most likely 5.5 inches, then that's believing it's 5.5 inches.
Most likely.
So you go with that belief. You don't know it.
Most likely is not saying that it is truth. Most likely is not saying it's truth. Most likely is based on odds that you have the correct. I always have it in the back of my mind that I could be wrong.
Right, but that doesn't mean you don't.
I could not have the truth. It does.
Okay, Tobin, I mean this with all due respect. You don't know what you're talking about. I am telling you, it's very important to me that you go study knowledge and epistemology. I put a link to a lecture in the chat. I know you said you don't want scholars to agree with you, but I promise you'd benefit from it because knowledge and belief have meaning, and you're using the words in a way. Sorry.
Stop, please stop. Both of you, stop. Chill the fuck out. So let's do this.
Woo!
So let's do this.
This is a good one.
So let's do this, and we'll and then we're gonna wrap this up because one thing I'm not gonna do is we have Shane and I obviously live on here. You're live, as a caller, Tobin. You're a supporter and a subscriber of the show. The last thing I'm gonna let happen is a subscriber and us get into it. So I'm gonna stop it there. But this is where I'm going to leave it and. I prefer to drill down to definitions. That way we're all clear. We have things to walk away with and think about. So the definition, I'm at Merriam-Webster, definition of belief, something that is accepted, considered to be true, or held as an opinion, something believed. And then a definition of truth. Oh shit, where'd it go? 1 second. Same source.
Truth is what comports with reality.
Okay, well, I'm going dictionary. If we want to get into that's more of the philosophical definition, but I'm just going dictionary right now. And I do agree with the philosophical definition, by the way. But a fact or belief that is accepted as true, or truths. So when we look at that, and then we can put the what best with reality. Yes, we could put that in there, but I think you have to walk away from the conversation and say, okay, is because you go through the several different dictionary definitions of truth. It's amazing how many times the word belief pops up, because belief is a subset, whether we like that or not. It is a subset, and that's why most people believe that. So Tobin, we have our call-in shows all the time. Whether you want to go and listen to philosophers or not, I would encourage you to. I think it's always better to refer to people that know.
Okay. I just want to give a quick reference to everybody listening. There's a great lecture. It's a little bit under an hour by a professor named Peter Millikan. He's a professor at Oxford University. Look up Peter Millikan, What is Knowledge? It'll be Skepticism and Knowledge. I left a link to it in the chat. I'll leave a comment after the show. But Peter Millikan, What is Knowledge? Is a pretty good breakdown, understanding of what knowledge is. And I guess I'll just I'll leave it at that for now.
Okay. Yep. And no,
I respect y'all both, and I really appreciate y'all having this conversation with me.
Likewise, man.
And just going constantly in my brain since it got brought up the other night, and I thank y'all for corresponding with me. Thanks for talking with me.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, man.
Yep, we love you, brother.
Likewise. Love y'all too.
You stay safe.
Later.
Yep. And real quick in the chat, the definitions for me, when I'm hosting a like a interview session or a call-in show, and Shane's still getting to know kind of my MO and my style here. especially if somebody knows the show, they're a fan of the show. I'm not going to let that go very far. I'm gonna cut it off, and I will go down to dictionary definitions just to put it at the most simple, foundational level we can. That way we can build from there. That doesn't mean that's right. Where we end up.
Well, it doesn't have to be dictionary definitions. They have to be definitions that are consistent with the common usages of the word. So if somebody wants to offer a definition for belief or a definition of knowledge, it doesn't have to be the same words in the same order as you see in an Oxford definition or anything like that. But if they're using the word in such a way that it isn't consistent with what that word actually means, then you could actually become justified in saying that they're wrong about what that word means. And so one of the problems that I have is, and maybe one of these positions changed because I know one stayed the same, is I know that Tobin holds this position, or at least said at one point that not only does he not think that belief is a necessary condition for knowledge, but he doesn't think that truth is either. And if you're offering me some understanding of knowledge that doesn't depend on what you know being true or you believing it, then I don't know what you're talking about. And what you're talking about isn't consistent with what me and all these other people who talk about knowledge and belief mean by it. And if you want to be a part of the conversation with people who are having discussions about belief and knowledge, then the rational decision is to adopt the definitions similar to theirs. And I understand, like, I'm passionate about epistemology and knowledge. I see Tobin as someone who's, interested in these discussions. So that's why I'm willing to talk to him the same way that I'm willing to talk to a friend who's sitting across the table from me. I know that some people, at least one person said that I was being condescending, and a few other people implied it. And I would respond to that by saying that is a reasonable thing for them to say. I do think that I wouldn't talk down to somebody, but I do think if somebody is wrong to a certain degree where what they're wrong about is something that you think is very important for them to realize it, then it's okay to become a bit passionate, and it's okay to tell somebody when they're wrong about something or that they don't know what they're talking about. And I would hope that I would be told that I'm wrong or that I don't know what I'm talking about, if it be the case that I'm wrong or I don't know what I'm talking about. And that's just how lovers of wisdom and valuers of truth should operate.
Whoa. I never said we were lovers. Chill out.
Lovers of truth, but or lovers of wisdom, but I know you don't love anything, Oz. You're an atheist.
I'm a heartless bastard.
Yeah.
But before we make our little phone call here, I do want to say, what's up, Prime? AKA Chase. Long time no see. Thanks for hanging out. But yeah, I don't mind passion at all from either side. But like I said, if it wasn't somebody that what was a subscriber, follower, fan of the show, everything, usually I'll let things go a little further. But yeah, it gets to the point where I'm like, nope, we're done.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree with that, though, because if we want to have a community of people who are passionate about philosophy, we should let the passion in the conversation come out, and we should. I mean, it's your show, so it's up to you, really. But I think that it's important to let discussions go to the point that they're going. And
I'll be frank. My opinion, it wasn't a conversation. Both of you were talking over each other. There was no conversation, and that's why I jumped in. It's like we have to bring it in, folks. Bring it in. But now, before we're at the hour mark. Before we wrap, we have a fun little thing we're going to do here. Shane, are you ready to be like the Reverend Calvinist? Shane,
yes.
Shane the Calvinist.
Shane the Calvinist. That works.
All right. We about to get about to get spicy. Hold on, I'm getting the phone number. Here, let me play some music while I get the phone number. Not that one, you suck. Oh yeah. took the goddamn phone number off. Where's Titan Uranus? Oh, that's terrible. They took the phone number off. What kind of organization is this? Here, I might be able to get him to put it back up. Sorry for the delay, ladies and gentlemen. But Shane, we talked about earlier. You're going to be one of the you and Bryce opening up the event. Then we're lining you up a interlocutor. You're going to be debating in October. I think you said it was either your first or second time live in person debating.
Yeah, well, the first debate that I had was at the ACA building, and there were like 10 people or 10 or 12 people that I knew in the building, but it wasn't like, a big crowd in front of me, So, yeah, this will be the first time I actually have somewhat of a crowd right there.
No, that's awesome. I still remember several of my first public speaking, big crowds, and the first one or two were nerve-wracking. I was like, you know what? I've learned just to stare at the top of their head, and I don't even know they're watching.
That works out.
I'm trying to get the phone number here. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I should have known if I asked for the phone number, it would just be a bunch of troll numbers. Hold on. Come on, people, be serious. Is it too early, or why I'm trying to get this number? Shane, is it too early, or would you like to share your idea, your proposition for your first solo show on the Atheist Network Group?
Yeah, I guess I could. You're talking about the game that I proposed, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I have an idea, and because as you know, the Atheist Network Group doesn't have enough shows on the channel. So I have an idea for a little bit of a game show. We're going to start it with a few contestants in line, but I want it to eventually become something where we just actually go off of the live chat and just get more involvement from the audience. I think that'll be a fun thing for everybody too. The show is going to be called Name That Fallacy. And pretty self-explanatory, but I'll briefly explain it anyways. I will be making arguments that I admit in advance are fallacious. And the challenge to the viewers is going to be to identify the fallacy being committed in the argument. And I want the first contestant of the show to be my good friend, Eddie Kroom. I think, he's familiar with a good amount of fallacies. So I'll make fallacious arguments and see if he could identify what fallacy is being committed in each argument. And because I was rather surprised to hear Eddie say, I think it was a discussion on normalizing atheism he had with you. You and Pasta, or maybe it was just with Pasta. Pasta asked him about how many fallacies he knows of. And I was really surprised. He said something like 10 or 12. And I actually don't believe that. Maybe 10 or 12 is what he could name off the top of his head. But 10 or 12 is how many I might have known over a year ago. So I'm like, no, Eddie's got to know at least 25 fallacies. There's no way he doesn't.
No, yeah, he names off 25 in one episode.
Right. So, I mean, I could see you might not be able to name everyone that you've been acquainted with off the top of your head if you try to. You might only be able to list 8 or 10 of them. But if more keep getting committed, you'll go, and that one.
that one's that one's bullshit. We know that's bullshit. God damn it.
And then maybe actually the second part of the show could be naming a fallacy and asking the audience to come up with arguments committing it. And if people watch that show and play that game kind of often, it'll just get your head in the right place. If you get to a point where you're regularly practicing identifying fallacies and familiarizing yourself with them, it'll probably be really beneficial in your later discussions.
Yeah. Here I'm gonna put a little thing in
the fallacy. That's the favorite of Monkey for Banana. That's actually a really important one to know. Just because somebody used the fallacy to arrive at their conclusion doesn't mean that therefore their conclusion is false. It just means they used bad reasoning for it.
Shane, check the private chat real quick.
Yeah. My answer to that.
You were supposed to be unplugged. All right, so let's entertain for a minute, because give me like 1 minute. I'm going to create one.
Okay.
So if you want to talk about fallacies, by all means, talk about fallacies.
Talking about fallacies. Okay, well, let me see how many I can name off the top of my head. You have begging the question. You have the modal fallacy, the genetic fallacy. Let's see. You have your no true Scotsman fallacy. Then you got appeal to nature, appeal to popularity, appeal to authority. I'm only at 7. Slippery slope. Then what else we got? Straw man. I think I skipped that one. It's one of the easiest ones. Ad hominem. So I named 10 there. It's got a.
I can't believe you left out the reductio.
Oh yeah. Then poisoning the well. So there's 12. Man, I'm only at 12. I thought I'd be able to name at least 15, like without stopping and pausing.
What about populum?
I already used appeal to popularity. It's pretty much the same one.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You have the optimistic fallacy, or that's more of a bias, optimism bias. Genetic fallacy. There's one. Yeah, I did say no true Scotsman already. So we're at 13. I forgot the name of the one of. Oh, there's the nut picking fallacy, where you take an example of somebody saying something and that person's a member of a group and you portray it as being representative of the group to which they conform. So you have an example of some Christian saying some radical, crazy things, but they aren't radical, crazy things that most Christians would adhere to. If you took that as an example and said, this is what Christians think, you'd be committing a nut-picking fallacy. So there's that. Composition, division. Skip that one.
They opened the phone lines back up. Here we go.
Hell yeah. Hasty generalization. Texas sharpshooter. Well, now I'm getting help, so that doesn't count. I mean, I've been acquainted with them, but
so I'm going to mute myself because they'll know any sign of me.
Thank you for calling in time. In 15 seconds or less, please state your name and the topic you are calling about after the tone, then press the pound key.
My name is Shane. I wanted to talk.
You are now in queue for In Time. You can listen in the background and you will be muted until the host is ready to let you in. Once you are live, you will hear a beeping sound and the host will refer to you, meaning that you can speak and you will be on the show. Thank you for your patience. It's a long story.
She was really pop. In between my show and our show, Jim was on with Pasta and Art and Theology and Dr. Josh. And so we called Jim his mom again.
Yeah, you should. Well, it actually ended up going really well, but it was.
I'm not calling anybody right now.
It was. Oh, you don't want to call? Well, we decided it would be a call-out show instead of a call-in show. It would be a call-out show. So
the times that call-in shows have turned into call-out, they haven't worked out very well.
It was great. Jim's mom was a little surprised, and then Jim decided that he was going to take a bathroom break literally as she was picking up the phone, which made things a little more interesting.
Well, he's got to take his bubble bath. He's got to get in the bubble bath every once in a while.
So we've got a caller. We've got a caller, and they're connected, but they did not identify. So,
mystery caller.
Mystery caller. Hello, mystery caller. Who is this?
Hello. Am I live?
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Hi. Well, my name's Joseph. I wanted to talk about Calvinism and what you guys think about it.
All right. Do you have a specific question, or just what do we think about Calvinism in general, or?
Well, I guess the most important would be is Calvinism consistent with the Bible, or is non-Calvinist theology more biblical?
Let's get deep then, right?
we're gonna get. Okay. Well, no. I mean,
Hold on. From trolling to this is what, like, I come back from, like, there's trolling. I finish my cigarette, and we come back into this. I'm expecting Nate's hair, and I get like a super theological like question that I wasn't ready.
Hey, nimble. We're moving. This is live. Anything can happen, dude. This is a good question. I wish we had on Will. I wish we had Will on, but Will's answer would be yes. It's completely consistent with the Bible. They all say it. So yeah.
I debated with Will recently, and it was he's a Calvinist. It was a very nice debate. It seems to me that it's a denomination of Christianity, and each denomination takes different viewpoints on the Bible, it seems, and there's a lot of similarities too. There's the impression I get of Calvinism from Will is that they're a lot more passive in things, in their attitude about how Christianity applies to people, and kind of just make assumptions that there's a number of people who are chosen to be rewarded in the afterlife, and nobody else is. It's an elect. They're called elects, I think, and there's really not much you can do about it because it's already decided. I hope I'm remembering the details correctly. So it kind of leaves me wondering what's the point of being a Calvinist at all if this is going to be the case, right? So, but there's probably more to the story than this.
Right, but just because you think it's mean doesn't mean that it's not true.
Well,
I'm
not sure he thought it was mean. I don't want to put words in his mouth. No. I'm thinking he thinks I think it's an interesting view to the best of my ability. I'm not an expert on Calvinism, but what I've learned also from Will has been, so I don't think Randolph was saying it was mean, but maybe not arbitrary.
Maybe I can clarify with, I think, I'm sorry, you go ahead.
Well, so I'll give my view quickly, and then I'd love to hear but I think that the problem is Calvinists had an issue, which was how do we deal with an all-knowing God and there being free will? And I think their conclusion was that almost there isn't free will. I think they would argue there is, but in the way I'm going to frame it right now, it's not that there's free will. There is free will, but God already knows everything, and he knows what you're going to do, so somehow that's reconciled. And what that means is because he knows, then whether you're good or bad has already been preordained. It hasn't happened yet, but he knows. And so everyone who's going to get into heaven has already been preordained, not as much as he just says, here, these are the people who check the boxes, although there's some of them because there are rules. But he already knows, and there's nothing you can do about it, despite having free will, because he's omnipresent, is what I should say. And I think the reason that exists is just to get around a couple of philosophical problems. I think I can see the appeal to it, and I think Randall's got a bit of a point, which is, okay, well, then why do anything if it's preordained? But the answer to that is, well, you still do have free will, and you don't know what the outcome is, so why not shoot for the best possible outcome you can? But I'm not sure it solves the problems I think it does, but I do get it. So anyways, that's my answer. What are you going to say?
It's almost like an extension to Pascal's wager in a way, the way you phrased that, Nick.
Yeah, I think that's about it. And since, again, ostensibly, just because we know just because God knows what's going to happen doesn't mean you're not still you. So why not be the best you possibly can be? And I find that argument appealing.
What I want to know is, I guess it's three things. Do you think that Calvinism is biblical? And then if it's true, do you think it's more reasonable than a non-Calvinist theology if the Bible is true? And the third one was, if it's true, do you think it's mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll answer those in reverse. I don't think it's mean anymore than a denomination.
I'm sorry, but you don't think pre-ordaining someone to be bad is mean?
No, I think that there's. I think that one is kind of more in the line of discriminatory. So I guess, yeah, you could say in a roundabout way, it would be kind of a mean thing to do to exclude certain people from it and not others. So, but I don't really think of Calvinism in general as something that's mean, because the people I've met who are involved in it seem to be very well intended in how things go and how to interact with people. So as far as it being biblical, for your first question, I think that it does follow, like the people I've met seem to try to follow their idea of what's in the Bible. And just like the other denominations, there's all these different interpretations and different approaches to which parts of the Bible and how they follow it. That seems to vary. And that seems to vary from individual to individual as well. And sorry, I forgot what your second question was. You're saying, is it true or something like that?
I can answer the second one. So what happens is when you call into a call-in show from another call-in show, and Shane, don't take this the wrong way. Calvinism doesn't really come up in that conversation. And so.
In what conversation?
From call-in show to call-in show. Well, it'd be call-out show to call-in show.
From a call, yeah. So the question is, would he be preordained if?
The bad thing is,
I don't know if God knew that was going to happen.
The bad thing is, you guys would have got trolled the shit out of, but you got snitches on your side, Nick. You got some snitches in your chat.
That's all it is. The snitches, man.
I knew it was Shane. That's why I wasn't talking.
And I think for the fairness, for the mean thing, it would depend on what the reasons were for the preordainment. But yeah. Hi, Oz. It's great to talk with you. You did very well.
If you're listening on Tang, just because they did this, you should come watch In Time with me.
Or if you're watching their show, maybe you should leave in and watch ours. Maybe tune into ours. Let's go to war. Let's steal each other's.
I had no idea this was Oz.
Ours started first. Our show started first.
Yeah.
That's why you were away so long. You set this up.
Well, look what we did.
I didn't set anything up.
Look what we did. We took two atheist call-in shows streaming at the same time and now combined them. No matter what, even if you guys got trolled the shit out of, we made good shit happen. We made good shit happen.
That's true.
Oz, I gotta say,
this is the version of
I feel honored
I wasn't expecting.
Oz, I got to say, I feel honored to have had the chance to be part of this without even knowing. Thank you.
Yeah, I think Randolph was mainly the one answering the question seriously. Nick was trying to help out, but I don't know that he would have gotten so deep if Randolph didn't. So,
well, Nick,
Randolph,
Nick
you
never
never really had on that one.
As soon as Nick takes his suit jacket off, I know we're not going to hear anything intelligent. Like as soon as the jacket's gone, I already know.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, he
So
really has a
Nick's
thing for that.
jacket-
He wants to. He just wants it. He wants me to send him my
T-jump
jacket.
chair. Nick's jacket, T-jump chair. I see where we're going with this.
Nick, I'm just
I see
trying.
where this is going.
I'm just trying to help you build your marketing, your branding, bro. That's all I'm trying to do.
You're just pissed that my buddy Sid gave you a call, and I like the guy. He's a nice guy, and you're pissed because you felt I sticked him on your ass, and he made you look like an idiot because he knows the Bible better than you do. So you're pissed at me. Take it out on Sid.
So here's the
Sounds
proof
like a debate
that Oz
calendar.
hates Nick. Here's the proof that Oz hates Nick. But if you're listening on Tang right now, subscribe to End Time. If you're listening on End Time, subscribe to Tang. Let's make this bridge. There's a bridge word that's been going on. Let's bridge the gap, right? Isn't that like a Christian term?
No.
Let's bridge the gap. Those
bridge
believers that need to.
Bridge is non-denominational evangelical churches.
No, it's a Christian term.
We're not bridging. We're not bridging. We are cross-pollinating. We're flying and dropping shit on everybody.
If God didn't exist, bridges wouldn't exist.
Are you
Bridges
telling our
exist
audience-
before God exists?
What up, Ethan?
What's up, Ethan?
Are you telling
Yeah,
our
well,
audience, some of whom are Christians, that they should cross that you're literally saying the word cross to our, and you're expecting that this is going to make things better, Oz?
Cross.
You should cross.
Pollinate.
Yeah. Cross the divide.
Holy crucifix, that was a clever pun.
Oh, dear Lord.
Pollinate.
So I do want to thank everybody for coming to our very last In Time Call-In show. It was fun. It was fun. Really good. I'd like to thank you for giving us the idea. Titan, thank you for this.
Two call-in shows. I think we did run through all the
callers. How many callers do we have now? We actually, this counts as two. This counts as two. So I want my.
Nick, I thought this was a lot of fun. Actually, this was a great experience. Yeah. I hope you did it.
Okay. Well, okay. So Oz, were you there when we called Majors' mom, Jim Majors' mom? I wish I was kidding. He said let's call in a mother, so we called his mother live, and that actually was it. It started out dumpster fire. It ended unbelievably well.
I did not.
Because he talked about when he was a minister. I was almost crying. He started talking about it because he did his deconversion on our show, and he was a minister, and he starts talking about when he as a child he wanted to get his first pulpit, and his mom discussed it. She said, "Yeah," and he's like, "How do you feel about the fact that I'm an atheist?" And she goes, "Well, this is, you have to follow your own path." He goes, "You think I'm going to hell?" She goes, "That's what the scripture says, but I don't know, and it just all of a sudden they're just like, oh wow," and you could tell she was so proud both of who he had been, but still who he is, despite the fact we're like. That was a pretty amazing one.
That's
so
awesome.
what we're going to do is I'm going to drop Jim Majors' mom's number in the live chat. So if you want to give her a call, she's a blast to chat.
Your mom.
Oh, don't
your mom.
Don't tempt Shane and I with a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, the next thing we're going to start doing on After Dark, I guess, is we're going to start trolling other channels. We call in.
We're going to start calling other relatives. I mean,
call on Tangelo if Tangelo is live, or if Darth is live, we'll give him a buzz. Oh dear Lord.
Yeah. Well, actually, doing this tonight.
Yeah.
I was just say real quick, doing this tonight. There's a few people in my phone book, or my contact list, I guess what I should say, on my phone that next weekend, I think I'm going to call a couple of little 2 or 3 pastors that I know just on the spot. Be like, "What up, homie? You're live. You want to talk?" If they say no, cool, we hang up. If no, we just keep on going.
All right, and I don't know if somebody's dropped. I haven't seen Titan in a few minutes, so I will drop a link to the Oz's channel and to the Atheist Network group, the Tang, TART. I don't know what they're saying, what they're doing right now.
See, look, Nick takes the high road every time. I hate Nick. It's fine.
So I'm going to drop a link. And if you want to see In Time right now, you can go to their channel. But either way, go like, subscribe, and oh dear Lord. So let me go get the link. I wasn't quite
I like
ready.
Doorknob Head. Well, I like Doorknob Head's comment. 2 call-in shows for the price of 1.
Right. but now nobody's calling in. We're tying up the lines. Same
Well,
here.
That's because some shows are Oz. You have only one phone line to call in. Well, oh, that's okay. Maybe when your channel goes up a little bit, you can have 2 phone lines to call in, or maybe even 3.
No.
Just I look forward to when you get a little more professional.
No, see that's where when we lean just back on just very practical business and marketing strategies. When you're the only one and you feel like you're the VIP, that attracts more people. So we get more callers because people feel like, oh, if I call, I'm the only one there. Like I'm not on hold. Like if I get on, I'm there. Whereas like you have that like spiderweb trap thing where nobody knows if they actually get to talk to anybody. And then you hang up on them. Then you hang up on them half the time.
That's how I end up talking to Randolph.
No, I only hang up when it's your number is when I hang up.
If you press 1, you get
odd how that happens.
support with Nick. If you press 2, you get home repair advice from Randolph. If you press 3, you'll be sent to the Atheist Network group's call-in show.
Well, any of those lines work. They all work. He's come in. We can have 20 people if we want to. But fine. So I just dropped the link. That's and you think I'd actually say
Shane, Shane, I just want to throw out there so that they have 3 people over there manning the phones at their station, and they've had 2 calls all night, and we're number 2. This is now our third or fourth call. 2 people
that's false.
Taking care of it. So
hey, some people just like having 3 men take care of a 1-man job.
Hold on. We've had, just for the record, there have been more than 2 calls. And second point, Randolph hasn't been doing shit. He's been building some kind of clubhouse or something. Count Randolph into this mix. I mean, he's been building a roof on a clubhouse.
Is he
2 hours?
Is he still building that goddamn? Is Randolph still building that goddamn Canadian fucking treehouse?
Hey, Oz, it's going to be a great show once he's done and the Ice Age is over. This will be a quality show.
He's going to have to kick all the cats out, though. All those cats
he's muted, and I don't know if that's me that's muted him or him that's muted him, but it's not me. He's got sound on this end. So Randolph, you're muted. Randolph, I swear to God, it's not me. You're muted. It's not me. Your audio is lit up. You're just not sending any signal. There you go.
Did Oz mute him?
Is he still trying to talk to his power power drill?
Right, there we go. Can you hear me now? You got it. We can hear you now.
Oh, there we go. Here we go.
So Nate's referring to cats that were fighting in the front yard, but the fight went a long time. So I informed everybody that they're probably making kittens.
Yeah, they were having.
They were probably making kittens.
Cat scratch.
Randolph, once again, I applaud you on the quality of your content, and as always, it is a delight having you on In Time.
All right,
Come by
they
anytime.
over for bottles, cans, and boxes, and then one time it sounded like a chrome bumper was being dragged around the street, and the cats were still having their fight. So, Nate's remembering the freestyle.
Thank you for making sure we all are in on that joke, because I couldn't have gone another 5-10 minutes in my life without realizing that there were cats having sex in your studio. Thank you for that.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
No, they were not in the
Why do
studio.
you think
This is not
he's trying to get a show going?
this is not
Well,
this
okay.
is not the
Hey,
place
so,
for romance. It's look at this.
check.
You want to hang around
Check.
for that kind of thing?
Oh,
I'll
you're
maybe
not a
catch
cat.
up. Standard.
Guys, I think Oz is trying to talk, so let's all just keep ignoring him, please.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Anyway, so we're getting ready to jump off here and go back to a show where we actually get callers. That's what we're going to do. So glad we could call and troll you guys. And
Yep.
tell
Nick, got so many callers.
Nick, tell all the people.
Earlier, while I was muted,
Tell all the people in your chat. Tell all the
when you
people in your
announced
chat.
that this was we were all brought in on
Snitches
Sorry?
get stitches. Bitches. All right, they're gone.
All right, I was like, you should have hung up right after saying that. That was a really good ending statement. So
I did. I hung up.
yeah, well, I had fun. I hope I did a good job at being a Calvinist.
You did until the people in the fucking chat started snitching on you.
I gotta go watch that show and look at the live chat and see who snitched. Keep an eye out.
The first one was I see the logo or the icon. I can't remember the name right now, but if you go there, you'll see it because there's like 2 comments in a row. I was like, God damn it! But
I had a feeling I'm like somebody is gonna hop in and let them know. But let's see how long we could go.
Yeah, Doorknob was the first one that was like, oh, that's Shane. But we were also streaming at the same time, so people probably were going back and forth and like, oh, I see what these fuckers are doing. But no, thanks for hanging out tonight, Shane. We'll wrap it up here. We're at 1 hour and 30. And everybody's been in the chat tonight. Thank you. And if you don't know about Nick's channel, it's in time, not on time. He's as good as being on time as we are. So don't get it twisted. But go check out In Time. And every once in a while he has a good show that might entertain you. And it may not. And you're like, fuck this shit. Why did Oz tell me to subscribe to this? No, but he has great content. Go check him out. In the meantime, tomorrow night we will be live with Dr. Josh Bowen, the author of The Atheist Handbook to the Old Testament. It's volume 1. Why is that volume 1, Shane?
Because there's an intention for there to be a volume 2.
There's an intention for there to be a volume 2. And unless Dr. Josh croaks, in the next 6 months or so, that
more converts and become a Christian.
You're right. There's tons of possibilities.
Try to be a little less pessimistic.
Don't happen. He's already working on volume 2. But in the meantime, till tomorrow night, listen, have fun, be safe, take care of yourself, be authentic, and do what the fuck you do. Thanks, Shane. Good hanging out with you, man.
Likewise. Take care, everyone.
Turn it up. What up? Yeah. Grab your chair, put up a seat, yeah. Welcome to the Atheist Round Table. We just the dudes that you knew for poking holes in all these fables. Yeah. See, we're just some atheists that got questions like, why does God kill babies with cancer? Hopefully, you can bring some answers. We'll sit back and take notes. Go ahead. Welcome to the Atheist Round Table. Welcome to the Atheist Round Table.